Good evening, everybody. I hope that y'all are having a blessed day. I just wanted to drop some encouragement on you all today. I love in Philippians, I believe it's chapter 4, where Apostle Paul say, he knows how to live humbly, but he knows how to abound, or he knows how to abound and he knows how to be abased. That he has been hungry and that he has been well fed, and in all situations, I'm summarizing, y'all. In all situations, he has learned how to be content. And the reason why I want to drop that on you guys is because I'm a millennial, right? And as a millennial in our generation, I will say that because we have been overly exposed to social media, that we have an issue with abounding and abase. We love the highlight reel moments, but we hate the moments that we can't show to social media, because we feel as if, that if we can't have a highlight moment, we're not living our best life. And then especially where, now we live in a day and time where we have so much text, so much information in front of us, even information about other people's lives that, to a degree, we see people's highlights all the time. So our generation, as a millennial, and maybe the generation after me, have issues with both abounding and abase, and being hungry and then being well fed. We love to be in the seasons of life where we have everything that we need, but we hate to be in the seasons of life where basically we're dependent on God for our fresh manna every single day. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes I believe, not coming from millennials and under millennials, but sometimes I believe that millennials, we feel like if God takes something from us, that he's punishing us, but we fail to realize that God is actually pleased with us. And I'm going to tell you why. So we see in the book of Job how the devil went to God, and God gave the devil permission to test Job. The devil said, if he only blesses your name because you've blessed him so much and you have a hedge of protection around him. The devil said, if I take everything away from him, or if you take everything away from him, he wouldn't have that same energy for you, God. And God said, I give you permission to take everything except for his life. Why am I saying this? Because God already knew that Job was not going to curse his name. God already knew that despite all that the devil did, despite the testing that God allowed the devil to take Job through, that he was going to still be faithful and loyal to God, even despite the questions that he had, even despite the fact that he just did not understand why God was taking him through this long, treacherous season of long suffering. Think about it. You lose your children, all of your children. Then the next thing you know, you lose your cattle and your flock. Then you lose your health. Your friends saying, what have you done to make God this angry at you? When for real, God knew that Job was a righteous man. It said in the word that Job was an upstanding and a very righteous man. So you're thinking that God is taking something away from you because he's punishing you. Whole time God is taking something away from you because he know that you're going to be loyal and you're going to be faithful. And because you're going to be loyal and because you're going to be faithful, that's the reason why he's going to allow the devil to test you, because his thing is, that's my chosen one. That's the one that's going to bless me despite no matter what I take away from her or what I take away from him. That's the one that despite it all is going to still worship, honor, and serve me. Okay, y'all. I'm really trying to make this make sense for y'all. Job said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And how many of us is on that type of time with God? The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. No matter what the Lord give us, he got permission to take it. And this is why, because if you are really about it with God, you're going to realize that God is the owner of everything, and that anything he give you is a gift, and that you don't deserve anything, because none of us do. That's the reason why Jesus had to take the cross for us. But if he bless us with something, it's not because we're so righteous. It's not because we're so perfect. It's literally because he gave it as a gift. So how many of us can say it don't matter what God take away from us, the Lord giveth, yet the Lord taketh away? And despite what you take away from me, God, I'm going to still bless your name. I'm still going to serve you. I'm still going to be about it for you. There was a song made by 50 Cent that was called 21 Questions. And it was like, God, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. God might be speaking right now. It was like, girl, you seem to love me now. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? And the thing about God is he's asking us 21 questions. Jaquil, right? Or who's ever listening to this video, you can replace it with your name. You seem to love me now, but would you love me? Let's flip it. If you were down and out, would you still have love for me? Would you abound in the bays if you were eating filet mignon, traveling the world, had everything that you needed, making 6 figures, but then I stripped it all, and now you rationing out portions of food? Or the furthest you can travel is an hour and 30 minutes from your house, if that. Or if you're not making 6 figures, but I took your salary away from you. God is saying, will you still have that same love for me? And how will God know that we're going to be down for him and that we're going to love him if there's no testing? That's the reason why gold got to go through the refiner's process. And until there is no sense of impurity in that gold, God will put that gold back in the fire time and time and time again until it's refined. And take it as all joy, count it as all joy when you're going through the refiner's fire, because God is saying, only way that you can know what's on the inside of you is if I bring you through a season of testing. So yes, you need to learn how to abound and abase. Because one thing that could be to our detriment is that if God simply bless us all the time, blow our mind all the time, and he does not permit any suffering, and then you find that when you get to your pinnacle, when you get to your highest point, you fall because you've never been through the struggle. You've never been through the season of long suffering, or as our generation would say, you never had to get it out the mud. So here's the question that I want you to ask yourself. Are you going to learn how to abound and abase? Are you going to still serve God if you on your mountaintop moment or if you in your valley? If God make your life unpostable, would you still love him? That's a real question, because I got a question for y'all, especially those of you who are in relationships. What if your significant other loved you as long as you were doing for them, as long as you was up, as long as you did what they require you to do, as long as you was the version that they wanted you to be, but then when you hit a rough patch, they left you because they said, oh, I can't take this pressure. That's what God is trying to do. When we're going through our seasons of long suffering, he's trying to see, can you stand that pressure? Are you still going to serve me when you can't see me? Are you still going to serve me when you can't trace me? Are you going to trust me when you can't trace me? Or are you only going to love me as long as I'm blessing you? And every blessing ain't material. So what about the blessing of peace? What about the blessing of salvation? But the problem is we don't look at it like that, because it's only if it's up, then it's stuck. But it's going to be some seasons where it's down and you can't get off the ground, and you still gotta love God and trust God and walk in your purpose and walk in your calling. That's it, y'all. I love y'all. Be blessed.